Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai Satcharitra, an insight. Episode 271. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, we have been heeding to the Leelas that led to the transformation of thoughts in the mind of Dada Kelkar about Sri Sai Maharaj. The one who considered him to be a mad fakir eventually developed unswerving faith and loving devotion upon Sri Sai Maharaj. In the 93rd OV of the 42nd chapter of Sri Sai Satcharitra, Hemat Panji delivers a significant message that during daytime there was no restriction to the devotees coming for Sri Sai Baba's darshan, but at the night, the moment the screen in the Sanctum Sanctorum was drawn that indicates Sri Sai Baba is going to sleep, then no one can enter Dwarakamai excepting three most fervent devotees. They were Mahal Sapati, lovingly called as Bhagat by Sri Sai Baba, then Lakshmi Bai Shinde, the most blessed mother that received the holy 9 coins from Sri Sai just before he left his mortal coil, and the third one was Dada Kelkar. He could attain this place owing to this devotion towards Sri Sai Baba and his progress in spiritual realm. The most compassionate Sri Sai Maharaj has evolved him step by step and annihilated his ego that was a hindrance to his spiritual life. His spiritual wisdom was competent enough that he could give explanation to the parable stories voiced out by Sri Sai Baba. To recall, in the 21st chapter, a parable story was narrated by Sri Sai Baba when a devotee by named Anandrav Patankar came for darshan. It is the story of 9 balls of stool. Sri Sai said, once a businessman came here and in his presence a mayor passed her stool. There were 9 balls and the merchant intent on his quest spread the end of his dhotar and gathered all of them in it, and thus he got concentration of mind. The audience were unable to get the gist of this parable. It was Dada Kelkar who gave this humble note. He said, I too do not know all that Sri Sai Maharaj reveals by this, but at his inspiration I can say what I understood. The mare is God's grace, and the 9 balls excreted are the 9 forms or types of bhakti. If any of these are faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord will be pleased and manifest himself in the home of the devotee. Next day, when Anandrav Patankar went to Dwarakamai for darshan, Sri Sai Baba asked him, what, did you collect the 9 balls of stool? To which Anandrav Patankar said, he being a poor fellow should first be graced by Sri Sai Baba, then they will be easily collected. Sri Sai Maharaj blessed and comforted him. This indicates Sri Sai Maharaj's approval for the explanation given by Dada Kelkar. Dada Kelkar regularly attended all the lectures, discourses on spiritual subjects and enhanced his knowledge on various topics at Shirdi. Sri Sai's authorization is a testimony to the supremacy of Dada Kelkar. Once, Sri Sai Maharaj spoke to the devotee Kaparde thus: "In one of the past births, I, you, Jog, Kaka, Shama, and Dada Kelkar, all of us were fellow students under the tutelage of one Guru. Now I have brought all of you here." This is a very significant assertion with deeper connotation. The general thought is, if a person has been involved in spiritual practices, then in the forthcoming births, their progress will be rapid as it would begin from where they left in the previous birth. To quote, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna uses terms known as Yoga Brashtas, means the one who adheres to the yogic practices, and on the other hand, Brashta Yogis indicates the ones who are pretending to be spiritual aspirants. If these yoga brashtas leave their mortal body before completing their yoga sadhanas, then a question might arise: will all the spiritual practices that they have been performing in that birth will go to waste? Definitely not. They, being yoga brashtas, will continue their spiritual practices in their new birth from where they have stopped in their previous birth. This has been assured to them by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is a great boon to each one of us engaged in spiritual practices, as we are not sure if we will complete it in the same birth. Death is inevitable, and all those who are born must face it one day. None can ascertain their lifespan. This is the nature of worldly life. So, having said this, the assertion of the Lord encourages each one of us to practice our sadhana to the extent possible without an iota of doubt, as that would be carried forward to our future birth. This is the explanation given by Sri Krishna about yoga brashtars, which gives solace and peace to all the spiritual aspirants. Thus, Sri Sai Baba, Kaparde, Jog, Kaka, Shama, and Dada Kelkar were yoga brashtars in one of the births. They all have done their spiritual practices under the tutelage of a guru. So, they all are highly evolved souls. To help his counterparts to progress rapidly, Sri Sai Maharaj has associated them in this birth. Devotees, it leaves me in horripilation to even think how great each one of these devotees would be if they had the blessing to be with Sri Sai Maharaj in their past birth, doing their spiritual practices under one umbrella. Sri Sai Maharaj is an embodiment of God, though he declares himself as a student under a guru along with others. Sri Sai doesn't need any spiritual training, but for the sake of upholding the guru-disciple relationship, Sri Sai Maharaj must have taken up the practice. The above statement of Sri Sai Maharaj is another testament to the spiritual height of Dada Kelkar. Sri Sai Maharaj always considered Dada Kelkar's family as his own. Every day while Sri Sai Baba was distributing the Dakshana money, he made sure ₹5 was given to Dada Kelkar. Many deeds of Sri Sai Maharaj might look strange to our simple human minds. At various circumstances, Sri Sai Baba has bestowed immense blessings upon those who did even a petty service to him. Dada Kelkar helped the devotees coming for Sri Sai Baba's darshan to have a comfortable boarding at Satewada, providing them food whenever possible. As an honor to the services rendered by Dada Kelkar, he was given ₹5 every day. This money had a greater value in those days. In fact, Dada Kelkar was well off. Devotees might ask, then why he should be given this amount every day? As we know, Sri Sai Maharaj would never accept any service from anyone for gratis. This being one of the core principles of the spiritual path trekked by Sri Sai Baba. Apart from providing money, Sri Sai Maharaj has paid keen interest in the welfare of this family. In the 32nd chapter, it is mentioned that on the day prior to the Shimga festival, Dada Kelkar was chatting with Sri Sai Maharaj. At that juncture, Sri Sai said, "Will I ever let my children fast on Shimga days?" The following day, that is on the festival day, Mrs. Gokhale came for Sri Sai Baba's darshan. She was the friend of Miss Kashibai Kanitkar, a relative of Dada Kelkar. So Miss Kanitkar sent a letter to Dada Kelkar through her, requesting him to help Mrs. Gokhale have a good darshan of Sri Sai Maharaj. Mrs. Gokhale came to Shirdi with a resolution that, Shimga being a very auspicious day, she should fast the whole day. Nothing is veiled to Sri Sai Baba. He, being the omniscient, was aware of her determination and asserted the above statement the previous day, that is, even before her arrival to Shirdi to Dada Kelkar. Isn't this amazing? As planned, Mrs. Gokhale came to Shirdi for the festival of Shimga, met Dada Kelkar and gave the intro letter sent by Mrs. Kanitkar. Dada Kelkar took her to Dwarakamayi. At that moment, Sri Sai again asserted, "Will I ever let my children fast on Shimga days?" And pointing to Mrs. Gokhale, Sri Sai said, "You go to Dada Kelkar's house, cook food at their home, make puran polis, serve the children, and you also eat there." Mrs. Gokhale was in a fix because she is a guest of Dada Bhatt, and how can she cook food for the host? Whereas Dada Kelkar got the hint. That day, Dada Bhatt's wife was having her periods, so she stayed aloof from cooking food, being Shimga festival. Therefore, the kids were staying hungry at home. Hence, Sri Sai drew this wonderful plan of making Mrs. Gokhale arrive on Shimga holiday to Shirdi, by which Dada Kelkar's family could get food, and at the same time the resolution of Mrs. Gokhale, which was pointless, was also averted. Thus, Mrs. Gokhale cooked food and prepared puran polis, served Dada Kelkar's family, and she also ate at their home. So neither the children of Dada Kelkar had to starve, nor Mrs. Gokhale had to fast. This also demonstrates the care and love of Sri Sai Baba upon his devotees, especially Dada Kelkar's family. Even the other devotees had great reverence for Dada Kelkar, as he was a great devotee, a wise, kind and caring person. He was lovingly called Dada by everyone, for he was an elderly person. He was always given priority by the devotees. In one of the earlier chapters, we heard about the Paduka of Sri Akkalkot Maharaj being installed at Gurusthan in Shirdi. The installation of the holy Padukas was done by Dada Kelkar. The rituals and procedure were performed by Upasani Maharaj. Dada Kelkar was a very staunch devotee and executed every command of Sri Sai Baba immediately. For instance, when Sri Sai Baba instructed him to go and buy meat on Ekadasi day, he instantaneously abided to that. Whereas we are not sure if Hari Vinayak Sate had this kind of implicit obedience, because at times his mind would waver. He would contemplate the pros and cons of the command of Sri Sai Maharaj. Sometimes Sri Sai Maharaj would also send messages or instructions to Sate through Dada Kelkar. Sri Sai Baba addressed Sate as Sahib. Once Sri Sai Baba told Dada Kelkar, "Tell Sahib to not go and meet his superiors at Manmad." This message was passed on to the son-in-law by the father-in-law, whereas Sate was thoughtful about it. He felt that it was necessary to meet the superiors and worried that failing to do so, he would be questioned. He didn't have the unswerving faith that nothing will befall to him as Sri Sai Maharaj has advised it. He was hesitant to follow, so brushing away the directions, he went to Manmad. To his surprise, the visit of the superiors got postponed, so Sate's trip was an ultimate waste. Rather than being in the holy presence of Sri Sai Baba, he wasted his time by traveling to Manmad. There were occasions when Sri Sai had told Dada Kelkar, "Tomorrow Sahib will arrive." Dada Kelkar never doubted the assertions of Sri Sai Maharaj, and his words never failed. Prior to the construction of Satewada, that is the days when the glory of Sri Sai Maharaj had spread far and wide, devotees began to come in large numbers to Shirdi. As there was no lodging available in Shirdi, the visitors would stay in the residence of the villagers. This is subject to the availability or the willingness of the Shirdi residents. The visiting devotee cannot claim for space. If given a space to stay in the houses, they would stay, and before leaving Shirdi, they would compensate the householder with some money for providing food and accommodation to them. So, getting a building constructed for lodging was inevitable, and the thought arose in the mind of Harivinayak Sate. The proposal was taken to Sri Sai Maharaj, and it was readily accepted. While pondering about the location, a suggestion was made by Sri Sai Baba to build it by demolishing the fence wall of the territory that borders Shirdi. That was a big fence surrounding Shirdi. It was a long wall which also stretched between the present Samadhi Mandir and the neem tree of Gurusthan. Sate was shocked to hear this suggestion because the wall was lengthy and he doubted if he could build huge vada to the length of the fence. Sri Sai spontaneously caught the mind of Sate and relieved his tension by saying in a very casual tone, "Are, just demolish the wall in that spot and build the vada." This instruction gave a sigh of relief to Sate. How did the construction begin? What were the divine sports of Sri Sai Baba experienced by Sate in this connection can be heeded in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.